Hey, hi, my name is Chastity. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, TV shows, animes, and kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. This week we'll be talking about PLouise. So, also I will be doing this makeup look. So if you like it, stick around to see how I got it. So I wasn't actually planning on filming a video this week because this is the season finale of our world. But since I've looked at the projected polls, things are looking a slight bit better. So I thought, why not come on here and kind of distract myself with something that's pretty nonsensical. Like, it's not really important, doesn't need a lot of brain power, just something to like distract myself and get me to stop refreshing the polls every 10 to 20 minutes. And I thought maybe this would be like a good like something to kind of put your mind off of what's happening video. Something that's really not that serious, but also is like, let's drag somebody a little bit. So this week we will be talking about the brand owner of a company called PLouise. And if you do not know who and what PLouise is a UK based makeup brand started by, I think her name is PLouise. She is an Instagram model. That's what she was. And she decided to start her own makeup brand. It's purely Instagram. This woman is white, and her brand is online. It's an online brand. You can't get it in stores, nothing like that. You order usually through Instagram, right? So Paige, I feel like if you do not know much about PLouise, you probably know their most famous product, which is the eyeshadow base. Most Instagram models, a lot of makeup YouTubers, they use the PLouise base. I've noticed that it's like a trend when I watch people, like, cause I like, before I buy a palette, I always like to look at the reviews for that palette. So I always like go online and check, and usually the girls are using PLouise. I've never really been enticed to order from them just because, like, I hate their packaging. It is so, especially for their eyeshadow palettes, it's literally like a suitcase. Like, you could actually murder somebody with one of those PLouise. Like, it's not like heavy, cause it's not like, cause I know people talk about how like Pat McGrath's palettes are like heavy. Like, that feels heavy and luxurious. That looks like it's just big and like, where would you, it's like the size of an iPad, like not an iPad made, a regular iPad. That is the size of PLouise palettes, and I feel like no palette needs to be that big. I thought as a society we've gone past the need to have huge ass palettes, but PLouise says no. So we as society has not moved on, and I guess y'all buy it. I don't know. Again, I really only see people use the eyeshadow bases. I've never actually seen someone like review a PLouise shadows, nor do I care to. Personally, like, it don't really sing for me. It don't really do nothing for my eyes because her palettes just look really basic. But that's not the point of this video. So I was on trend mood, as I am, looking at releases of makeup, because on my TikTok, the link will be in the description below, I do anti-hauls every Friday. So I'm usually on trend mood, just, looking for stuff to anti-haul. And while I was doing my, daily check of trend mood, I see that PLouise has dropped a new product. And I'm sorry, a collection. Now, you might ask yourself, Chastity, what collection did PLouise drop that has made you make a whole video? PLouise is, I'm not sure if they've released it yet, the canceled collection. Okay, the canceled collection. Now, you might be asking yourselves, well, what's wrong with that? It's just a name. Well, it would be just a name if the events I'm about to tell you about did not happen. So, a few years ago, Paige, the brand owner of PLouise, was at a Drake concert. And like you do at concerts, she was recording herself, singing the lyrics of that song. But she also filmed herself saying the N word. And then she posted it on her story. And then her black followers and other people of color that like PLouise kindly got in that ass. They told her, that's not a good look. You are a brand owner. You can't be on, social media saying the N word as a white woman. And she did this thing that very rarely, she doubled down on the bullshit, first of all. And I just want you to know that I have yet to see a double down not end with everyone not liking you anymore. B, you just deleting it and pretending it didn't happen. Or C, you delete it and then apologize for your actions. Very rarely has anyone ever doubled down and been on the right side of history. That just feels like a thing that has yet to happen. Because very rarely are y'all being, like... Because again, Paige was not being dragged. She wasn't. I don't think she was being dragged. Because there was no hashtag cancel PLouise trending on Twitter. None of that. I think they were holding her accountable. That as a brand owner, you can't do this. You can't act like this. You're not a regular person anymore. You have a brand to uphold. So first, she made this tweet saying that the N-word is in rap music, so why can't I say it? Which, okay, would have been fine on its... It wouldn't have been fine, but I'm pretending like it would have been fine. If that would have been fine, if we live in a reality where that was fine, sure. But then she gave my favorite excuse when white women get caught doing stuff like this. And it was, well, my boyfriend's black, so therefore I'm not racist and I can say the N-word. I'm happy your pet monkey allows you to say it, but the rest of us black people don't. And her saying she had a black boyfriend was kind of like the double down I was talking about. But after that, like, the thing is, the internet moved on. She was held accountable for her actions, and because of her actions, a lot of people decided to no longer patronize her business, which they have, as a consumer, you have the right to not support people because of their actions. Again, PLouise was never actually canceled. She wasn't. There was no hashtag Paige Louise is over party, no cancel P, none of that. I don't think that whole situation even trended. Not even slightly. It didn't trend. But she was being held accountable by the internet. The people who knew who Paige was were very much so like, you can't say this because you are a white woman. Point blank, period. And she decided to double down. And then the internet moved on. There's a lot of people who had no idea this happened and who was just like a week ago just a regular customer of PLouise and had no idea about the scandal because it wasn't outside of that little small community. No one talked about it. It never got big. Because she never got canceled. That's what I'm trying to make a point here. She was never canceled. She was just told as a white woman, you cannot say the N-word. That's it. That's all. PLouise was never canceled. I think in her head she was canceled because maybe she lost some revenue, but that's not being canceled. You can't cancel somebody like that. It was just people who were customers of her deciding that they were no longer going to buy from her because of her actions, which is fair. As a consumer, you can stop doing that. If you do something that I don't like, I can decide no longer to buy from you. And that is my right as a consumer, and people were just exercising their rights as a consumer. But in the 2020s, didn't nobody know about the scandal? Okay, so 4 days ago, PLouise, they're on the Instagram page, released PLouise is canceled. Canceled. It's time to introduce you, babes, to the new PLouise Cancel Collection, officially launching November. Monday 9th. I forget she's from the UK, so it's flipped because my brain almost had Siege and Charmaine died. Monday 9th November. But what is the Cancel Collection all about? Our Cancel Collection has been designed and created as not only a revolution, if y'all could see what I'm looking at with this makeup, you'd be confused on the word revolutionary too. But our not only revolutionary collection in the makeup industry, but as a message to people of all ages regarding the toxic and devastation social media can cause. I hate when people whose success is garnered from like social media talk about how toxic it is, because again, without social media, Paige would not have a brand. She gained her success from being an Instagram model. The majority of press her makeup gets is from Instagram. But it's so toxic, but you're rich because, KKK. Despite the positives of social media, the impact of the negatives can be destroying to a person, which is something we truly want to highlight to launch. A quote from Paige herself, who has firsthand lived through the darkest days of social media. Again, she said the N-word and then said it's okay because my boyfriend is black. This white woman said the N-word and she was told not to say it, and she feels like she got bullied because you said the N-word. Okay. Being an influencer is everybody's dream job right now. Looking glorified on Instagram is a dream for some. But I hate when she says whilst influencing has its benefits for being in a limelight, the negatives to engulf the positive. Being PLouise, every move I make is criticized and judged. I live my life for center stage. Being known online has its risks, and there will be people who want the worst for you. And that's the sad consequence of success. I will build my empire on the bricks people thrown at me. Again, the bricks were, can you not say the N-word, white woman? And literally, the palette is just a bunch of nudes. That's what's really blowing me, is calling this revolutionary when this is something I see on Trend Mood every day, just not with 36 freaking shades. Oh my god, hold on. I need a better picture of this to show you guys the nightmare that is this collection. Hold on. Alright, so here is this big clunky palette. It's just nudes. What is revolutionary about nudes? I would like to. There is nothing interesting about this collection. I think the most interesting thing is like it's printed on like newspaper. Maybe that's interesting. This is huge. Why would you see this palette? No normal person wants a palette that big. Honestly, I feel like a big portion, like again, cancel culture is bad. Like canceling people and not allowing them to grow is bad. But again, PLouise herself is not a victim of cancel culture because PLouise was never canceled to begin with. Alright? PLouise, as a white woman, was told that she couldn't say the N-word because she had no business saying it. And now she's canceled. That's all it is. End of story. She was told you are not black. You could not say the N-word. And she said, I'm entitled to say it because I have sex with black men. That's all it was. And then people who decided that they did not fuck with that, this wasn't rolling with that shit, stopped buying from her Also, another thing that like makes zero sense to me, so many people did not know about the situation because PLouise, because it never trended. No one. I think this was before drama channels and stuff like that. So this kind of stayed within her audience. So like it never went anywhere. That's the thing. So many people had no idea this happened, and her, because there was a lot of people in the trend moon comments that were like, one, that were dragging her because it was tacky, so so fucking tacky. But also there are people who were like, I had zero idea that she said the N word. Now I'm not gonna buy from her anymore. So I truly don't understand like her marketing team did not stop her because again, nobody, I feel like there's some companies that like we bring up their dark past quite often, but like with KVD it was consistently brought up. Lime crime, their problems were consistently brought up. Brands that have really fucked up, we always talk about it when we talk about them. But PLouise is one of the few brands that's able to just like skate through this drama and then move forward. So I don't understand. Well, I do understand why she's doing it. Outrage marketing. She wants money because I personally don't think the brand is doing that good. I feel like you can only do so good with selling eyeshadow bases because she released, I know like for a fact that she released more shades and I was confused as to why, because I don't really see people use eyeshadow, like very rarely do I see people use eyeshadow bases. I've seen people instead of eyeshadow bases use lipstick before. I've done that before on a look and I like doing it, and I thought about maybe getting eyeshadow bases. I like doing that, but I never committed to it. But it's like, again, I've never actually seen somebody use a PLouise product outside of eyeshadow bases, and eyeshadow bases can hold you for a minute. So I don't think they're really turning a profit like that, and this is just like a very desperate attempt to get some money, get some, because there are people who I think I talked about this before. There is a weird section of people that really like canceled people. They like people who are hated because they're contrarians and they feel special not following the herd, quote unquote. You're not dick riding, but it's like, it's not. If we've just come to general consensus, we don't fuck with somebody, we don't fuck with somebody sometimes. But there are going to be people that are going to support her because this is freedom of speech, okay? But again, freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. You can say whatever you want, but they have consequences, and you got to move forward from that. So I think, personally, I think the brand's not doing well, like, not like how it used to, because again, no one's buying 4, 5, 10 eyeshadow bases like you would a palette. You would buy 5, 10 palettes a year. You wouldn't buy 5, 10 eyeshadow bases a year. All right, that's not. In whose world are you doing that? So I just think you can only survive. Like I feel like brands who only have one signature product can only survive for so long. So brands that like Benefit, like does anyone really buy from Benefit besides the brow products? You know what I mean? Or like it's a sugar pill with the like single shells. They survived off single shells for a while, but now single shells aren't a thing anymore. And I feel like that's slowly happening with PLouise because again, I don't really know anybody that uses eyeshadow bases like that. Personally, I feel like PLouise is one of the few people who actually didn't get canceled and was actually held accountable for their actions. And for a lot of celebrities, they can't tell the difference between being held accountable and being hated because they believe anyone who doesn't like worship the ground they walk on is a hater, which is not true. Your fans should be able to critique you. You are not, a god. You are not above being critiqued. You should never feel that way. You should not feel bigger than everyone else. But I guess when you're on social media for a while and you have so many people praising you and wanting, wishing to be you, that anything that's different is hate. But that's not always the case. And I think, again, PLouise is one of the few people who was, again, not canceled. I can't repeat this enough. PLouise was never canceled. She was held accountable. One of the few people on social media that were held accountable for her actions. And when she said that bullshit about my black boyfriend this, people decided that they weren't going to buy from her anymore. Which, again, they had the right to because it's their money. I don't have to support somebody I want to support. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. And PLouise was held accountable for her actions. She fumbled with her bullshit ass statements. But my boyfriend's black. Okay, if you don't want to say the N word, don't put it in the music. Which I hate that point because it's just like, I grew up in a household where like you don't curse from your parents. And I'm a person who curses heavy. I curse very heavily. I blame being from Jersey because we curse crazy out here. But, like, if you ask my friends, I curse in every other sentence. I just do. I get around my parents, I don't curse at all. I know to do that because around my parents, around my teacher, and around any other adult of authority, I do not curse in front of them because I know better. You, as a white woman, should know better than to say the N word. Because the thing is, she did this to herself. We would have never known that she says the N word if she didn't post it on Instagram. You posted on your story. It wasn't like a fan had posted it. It wasn't like it was not a situation like that. This was a situation she did on her own. Did no one asked her, "Hey Pete, do you say the N word sometimes?" No. She decided to let us know that she was at this Drake concert trying to flex, let the Instagram people do. And she caught herself on candid camera saying the N-word. Didn't nobody ask. It's just, you did it. This is all your own fault. I don't understand how, as a white woman, you felt comfortable and confident enough to post a video of you saying the N-word because you were at a concert. That doesn't make it better. That does not make it better. So she was one of the few people that were held accountable, but she feels like she was canceled because it's not fair that as a white woman she can't say the N-word. She sleeps with black men, so therefore she's not racist. So she should be allowed to say slurs. I don't understand why you would want to say a slur. I don't understand what's so appealing about possibly hurting people. Because yeah, there are some people who truly are affected. Because again, segregation, slavery, all of that was not thousands of years ago. There are people who were born at the tail end of slavery who are still alive. There are people who lived through the entire civil rights movement, still are alive. These people are not dead in the ground. They are still living and breathing. This was not hundreds of years ago. And there are people who are still greatly affected by this word. There are people that went through so much. And that word really, really does affect them. That's why I don't say it around every black, especially older black people. I try not to say it because I know it holds a completely different connotation to them because they was really in it. It was really a part of it. They was really in it. And I'll never know what that was like. Thankfully, all their sacrifices is the reason why I don't know what it's like to really be called the N-word in an extremely malicious way. So, like, on the Trump News comments, right, of this launch, PLouise was getting, like, pretty dragged. Like, not dragged, but, like, people were definitely, like, holding her accountable. And so that made me believe that on the PLouise Instagram account, they're deleting comments because there's not a single person that's, like, mentioning her N-word scandal or just raining on her parade like people normally do on Instagram. There's usually at least one negative comment, but all I saw were positive ones, which made me believe that like she's deleting it. But what happened to like controversy and like, oh my god, it's not a big deal, okay? Okay. So this whole situation, it's so stupid to me just because again, they were I can't stop reiterating this. You said the N word, you were held accountable, everyone forgot. Now you remember. I kind of think this is to like drum up, some sales. Because again, I don't think they're doing too good. Because you can only make so much money as a brand with one signature product. If people go for you for one thing, you really don't. You're not successful for a long time. Like in the moment, you're really successful, but like you don't get longevity. And I think this is just what it is. It's them looking at their numbers and being like, this not good, and trying to garner some type. Because again, all publicity is good publicity, I guess. And I feel like this is just what that is, and it looks kind of pathetic. Also, again, there's so many of your customers that were not aware that you said the N word and now are saying they're not buying from you again. This does not help your bottom line at all, and I hope you learn, because she was given an opportunity to get dragged and then move forward like nothing happened. Again, there's so many brands except for who their controversies are always brought up. This collection was the first time in a long time people talked about PLouise and her N-word scandal. You were given a great opportunity and she squandered it. She squandered it for an ugly collection. Again, her palettes disturb my soul because a palette should not be this thick. A palette should not be this thick. But anyways, I think that's it. My makeup is done. This is one of my favorite eye looks to do, my sunset. I think it just always looks so good. And it came out really good. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it. This was just supposed to just get my mind off of what's happening in the world. Editing this is also going to help me focus on something else and not check the polls every 15 seconds. So anyway, tell me if you knew about Paige and her scandal. I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't. And now you do know, and now you're not going to buy from her no more. Um, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you were able to make it this long, I'm really thankful of you because I ramble and talk about nothing far too long, but you stuck through it. You a trooper, and I fuck with you with that. I really fuck with you. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Like and subscribe. Don't get dragged and then bring it back up. Let's not do that, okay, guys? All right, have a good day. Hopefully, we can get to the season finale, like the very last 10 minutes, we end up good, you know? All right, bye, guys. Bye.